welcome to my first ever YouTube video, where I'll be kind of just introducing myself, the channel, as well as giving you a flip through of February 2018 in my bullet journal, which is right here. I'll get to that in a minute. One thing you'll notice is that I haven't been bullet journaling very long, just the past 2.5 months or so. I discovered it at the end of January, and I'm just kind of hopped into it, like fell into it head first. I found that I really liked it, and one thing I noticed was that a lot of the things that I follow and see on Instagram and whatnot are accounts where the people have been bullet journaling for a while. They're really good at hand lettering, or they've got their system set up quite well. And that's all great. Their spreads are beautiful, and it's really fun to like scroll through all those things and look at them. But what I want to do here is show you my journey from beginning bullet journalist to wherever I end up for however long I do this. And so what you'll see at the very beginning is that things aren't really as pretty as I may like them, or as professional looking or set up quite so well. And then just within this bullet journal, which I'm about to finish up here at the end of April, you'll notice that there's actually some progress. My hand lettering gets better later in this journal, and I start to kind of develop my own style, I guess. And so I thought that that would be a really interesting thing to kind of show, this kind of progression, and to keep that record of where I was when I first started doing this and wherever I'll be months or years later from now. So let's get to it. This is my bullet journal right now. It's an A5 Rhodia dot grid. I really like it. The paper is great. And it's black, but I added this strip of washi tape and then embossed my name up there in the corner. Cielo, like sky in Spanish, if you're familiar. And I've added these tabs to kind of mark some things that I thought were important. And then these tabs at the top for the current day, the next blank section for the lettering challenge I'm doing, and then the next blank page in my notebook. And so as you'll see, that's really far at the back. I have about like 15 pages left maybe, and this is not quite, actually it's just barely the second week of April, so I'll definitely get that through finished within the next couple of weeks, especially since I'll likely be going on a trip later this month. So opening my bullet journal, I've got just the inside of that washi tape, a note here for class that I just popped in there, and then I have my index and this random 2018 watercolor. When setting up my index, I first thought that maybe I would use 2 pages, but it quickly became apparent that I was barely halfway down this page and already halfway through the notebook, that I wouldn't need both pages for this notebook, just given the way that I use pages. So I went in and I just decorated this. I was experimenting with watercolor. I was surprised by how well the Rhodia paper held up to the watercolor. I don't know if this is an effect of the watercolor I used or the paper, or if it's just watercolor in general, but this painting actually has a really weird grainy texture that carries over to this page. And so after this, you'll notice I don't really use watercolor at all after that, because I don't like that grainy texture. But I do like how it looks, so I hope to keep experimenting with it in the future. Here we have a year at a glance type of future log type of thing. And I didn't know how long this notebook would last me when I started this. So in the future, I definitely won't have the full 12 months as if I'm going to plan things for all of it, because there's just not a lot happening over here. And I also want to make sure that I account for months that are really busy. So here you'll see March and May. This is in the middle and the end of my academic semester, and so that's where you see just all my tests and finals and midterms and things like that. So I wanted to make sure that I have more room for that stuff in the future. Here we have my the beginning of February. I have this little F tab to just write February, and I put together this month at a glance with just important dates listed and the calendar, and then a moon tracker. And then this was my first attempt at a weekly spread. I tried to do a full week with hourly time log and block out the different things I had every day. But that didn't leave me a lot of room for tasks, and there's just too much space. And I also realized that it would quickly get repetitive because all I have for most weeks scheduled at a specific times are classes, and they're the same every week, and I didn't really feel like I needed to keep doing this. So this spread only lasted 1 week. Oh, but up here I did put a funny quote that was in one of my physics textbooks. What axioms describe geometry on the surface of a potato? I thought that was funny. Here you'll see the first daily I did. This became a lot. I don't keep up with this style more than a week, I think, because dealing with these stencils was hard. I felt the need to write a lot to fill the page, even though I didn't necessarily always feel like I wanted to or needed to write some of this stuff down. And then over here I attempted a February Oodles of Doodles challenge, but through that I learned that I'm not really a doodler. I didn't like coming in to do this, and if I waited several days I felt the need to go back and catch up, and that just wasn't something I like to do, so I just kind of stopped that after the 17th. This is a page I made to just keep wandering to-dos, and I put in this poem from The Lord of the Rings to keep track of things that I wanted to do in general, but not on any particular day or week, and they don't have, most of them don't really have deadlines, or if they do, they're far in the future. So I just collect them all here and try to remind myself to come back every so often and see if there's something that I've put just on the back burner here that I can tackle in the future. And here we have more dailies. As you can see, I write less, and these are word of the days that I drop soon. Right here, I dropped the word of the day because that started to get hard to keep up with, and then this is like a third of a page I didn't use, and then Saturday and Sunday here I divided into two, and quickly realized that this half a page for each day seemed to work a lot better for me. This is just a page of quotes that I have that my boyfriend and I collect of funny things that each of us say, and that's just a collection. And this is the next form of a weekly log that I tried to do, a weekly spread, and it was okay. I used the watercolor a little bit right there, but again, most of this is just my classes, and very little interesting, varied from week to week. And this is the new way I started to do dailies, and I think that it works a lot better. I still use this format, 2 days a page, and yeah, I misspelled Wednesday. I realized I did that a couple of times, but I fixed it. And then here I started by separating Saturday and Sunday because I know a lot of people leave less room for the weekends, and so I thought, I'll try that too. But it turns out that didn't work. I always found myself just barely having enough space or running out of space, and I didn't like that because I do a lot of my homework for the week over the weekends. I have a lot of readings and things to get done, and I really like being able to write it all down. And so my Saturday and Sundays aren't that different from my weekdays. These are just more quotes, and more quotes. This is a page that I started titled Symptoms and Ailments, mostly to track headaches. I get a lot of headaches or migraines, and I was interested in keeping track of when they happened and at what severity they were to see if there was something I needed to keep an eye on. another weekly layout, as well as some more dailies. So here I marked out these days because there was a time when I didn't think this system was working. And so, sorry, this is just a diary journaling page. I messed up on this page, scratched it out, did a doodle. So I made this page at the same time that I scratched out this page. And basically what was happening is that I started to feel increasingly just unmotivated and gray. And so I made this page to like look at and in theory fill out, though I never really did, things that would help me get over that feeling. Did I remember to drink water? What types of things were causing me stress or anxiety or to feel sad? To go get a snuggle, to go talk to my boyfriend about it, and then to let go of something, as in to realize that I was probably trying to make myself take on too many things at once, and that it was okay to not do something that day that I planned on doing because I wasn't feeling good on that day. And so I never felt that out. And I crossed this out because I thought that maybe it was the way I was planning that was kind of aiding those feelings and making them more likely to happen. So I thought maybe I should try to redo that. And I'll show you how I did in the future. These are a couple of spreads for just lists, a collection of lists, and then a list of different bullet journaling supplies that I wanted to get with a budget. I wasn't very great at sticking to that. This is a notes page for different things I wanted to incorporate in other bullet journal spreads, and then a page collecting fun quotes from textbooks and my class readings. This is a page where I realized that I probably want to go into teaching after I graduate next year. And so I just kind of went through and tried to figure out how to do that, because for a long time I thought that I would go into graduate school and no longer think that that's the path for me. And so I had to then figure out, well, if I want to become a teacher, how exactly do I go about that? They copied down a nearby school and some of their curriculum requirements and application processes to get an idea for that. Looked into Teach for America, some other programs and things. And then this is what I did after I crossed out that last page. I split it up horizontally like this, just so that I would have the days, and made the things I needed to do smaller. I made the lists smaller as I tried to figure out what I did want to do. And so here I have a list of notes I got from, I think it's a website. I don't know if it's a blog exactly, but it's by a man named James Clear. And my boyfriend recommended it to me when he saw that I was struggling with getting everything done and also keeping my anxiety in check and not being too stressed or anxious or just letting it overwhelm me. And so I looked at his blog and I took these notes and basically realized that the way that I was thinking about the tasks that I had to do needed to change. I was too focused on putting a task on a particular date and then making sure that I did it. And that's good in the sense that I want to get things done and I want to get them done in time. But I wasn't being forgiving enough on the days that I didn't get everything done. And I wasn't forgiving of migrating tasks, and that's part of what the whole bullet journal system is about, is like putting down your tasks, migrating the ones you don't complete, and like keeping things in a flow and not being or putting them into specific days and being like inflexible, because it's all about flexibility. And so I realized that I needed to be more forgiving of myself and to also embrace the times when I really did feel like doing good work. And I noticed that that was early in the mornings, and so I started waking up earlier and things like that, and it's really helped. And then this is just a page of washi tape that I had, this really thin washi tape to I started out by wanting to just swatch them, but then I got to like halfway down the page by the time I'd finished all the different patterns, and so I just finished this page because I thought it looked kind of cool. And so that's the end of February. In this notebook I also have March and April, and I'm going to attempt to upload a video for a flip through of March and April and a May plan with me. And those won't follow any particular schedule. I'm just going to try to get them up before May. And then after that, I hope to have developed a more regular schedule. I'm thinking of either weekly or every other week uploads, depending on how I feel about my video ideas and things. And so we'll see how that goes. This is also my first video, so I apologize if I sound a little nervous. It's because I am. And I'm just trying to figure it out, so I appreciate your patience, and hopefully I'll get better at this narrating thing. And later in the bullet journal, you'll see that I actually start doing a bit more artsy types of things in my spreads, which I'm excited about and I actually really like. But that's for a future video. So thank you, and I hope that I look forward to any thumbs ups you feel the need to give, or subscriptions or comments. I'm really interested in interacting with you guys and talking about our bullet journaling journeys. So thank you.